Brothers and sisters, do you constantly worry about what others think of you? Do you find yourself affected by the judgments and opinions of the world around you? In this discussion, we will explore the timeless teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to uncover 7 Muslim principles that will create a shield against the impact of external judgments and opinions, so that you will never be affected again and can remain unshaken in the face of challenges and changes. Principle 1. Recognizing what is controllable and what isn't. This is about acknowledging that there are aspects of life over which we have control and those over which we have none. It's understanding that we can influence our choices, actions, and reactions, but we cannot control external events, the opinions of others, or the will of Allah. So how does the Prophet Muhammad illuminate this concept for us? His advice shines through in his ability to distinguish between actions and external factors. He understood that, while he, Serenity, could control his intentions, efforts, and decisions, he could not control the actions of others, how others perceived him, or the circumstances he found himself in. This wisdom allowed him to persevere in the face of immense adversity. When he, faced opposition, ridicule, torture, and threats, he remained unshaken because he recognized that these matters were beyond his control. Instead, he focused on what he could control, fulfilling his divine mission. The Prophet separated what he could control from what he couldn't, and this was a source of inner strength that enabled him to maintain his integrity and commitment to his beliefs, regardless of external turmoil. Principle 2. The handhold that never breaks our weight is only meant to be carried by Allah. We are told in the Quran, whoever rejects evil and believes in Allah has grasped the most trustworthy handhold that never breaks, and Allah hears and knows all things. Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, 256. There is a crucial lesson in this verse. There is only one handhold that never breaks. There is only one place where you can lay your dependencies, one relationship that should define your self-worth, and one source from which you seek ultimate happiness, fulfillment, and security. Do you know where that source is? Allah. In the statement of Abu Bakr, there is a deep illustration of this truth. After the Prophet, Shalom, passed away, the people were in shock and could not handle the news. Although no one loved the Prophet as much as Abu Bakr as-Siddiq did, he understood, as only he could, that the only place where one's dependency should lie is with Allah. He said, if you worshipped Muhammad, then know that Muhammad is dead. But if you worshipped Allah, know that Allah never dies. To attain this state, don't let your source of fulfillment be anything other than your relationship with Allah. Don't let your definition of success, failure, self-worth, or values come from anything other than your position with Him. If you do this, you become unbreakable because your handhold is unbreakable. You become unconquerable because your supporter can never be conquered. And you will never be empty because your source of fulfillment is unending and never diminishes. Principle 3. Embracing patience. Sabr. Sabr is much more than just patience. It is the principle that enables us to endure with dignity, patiently waiting and calling others to patience without inner agitation, but rather peacefully, even joyfully, like one who is suffering the hunger and thirst of fasting, knowing full well it is for the sake of Allah, that it will be rewarded and that it will end soon. The one with sabr will be consistent on their path, deliberate, certain, and resolute despite any obstacles. The one with true sabr is in full acceptance, becoming even stronger in the face of adversity. In crisis, you will see that negativity doesn't enter the heart of the one with sabr. A remarkable example of the Prophet, and his display of sabr was during the early years of his prophethood in Mecca. As he, invited people to the message of Islam, he faced relentless opposition and persecution. Yet he persevered with unwavering sabr, enduring insults, mockery, and physical harm. His response was not characterized by frustration, anger, or retaliation, but rather by a deep sense of purpose, humility, acceptance, and adherence to the path. He knew that the divine plan, or qadr, often unfolds in ways that we may not immediately understand, but he put his faith in Allah. With sabr, we find the ability to endure hardships with composure, finding strength in our purpose, not losing sight of the goal, and keeping our trust in Allah's plan. Principle 4. Cultivating gratitude, shukr. Gratitude is like a garden. It requires attention, effort, a plan, knowledge, a careful and mindful attitude, and appreciation. It isn't just about saying thank you, it's about acquiring a mindset of appreciation for the blessings in our lives, no matter how small they seem. Cultivating gratitude is essential. In Surah Ibrahim, Ayah 7, Allah reminds us, "And remember when your Lord proclaimed, 'If you give thanks, I will give you more. But if you are ungrateful, then my punishment is severe.'" Think of all the trials the Prophet, Muhammad, and his followers faced, from torture to persecution, humiliation, economic hardship, and the boycott of the community. Despite these trials, the Prophet, Sallallahu remained thankful for the blessings he had, from the support of his loving wife to the companions who stood by his side, such as Abu Bakr, and others. He didn't focus on what he lacked. Rather, he expressed gratitude for the faith and support of those around him. Be warned, brothers and sisters, the one who isn't grateful will never be given more, and even if they receive more outwardly, it will only be a test for them because they will only find emptiness in it. Principle 5. God consciousness, taqwa. Taqwa literally means to place a barrier between yourself and something harmful, like putting on shoes when there's broken glass on the floor. In a religious sense, it is different. It means placing a barrier between yourself and the wrath of Allah. This is the purpose of our existence here, to worship Allah so that we might build taqwa, God consciousness, fear and respect of Allah, and love and hope in Him. Taqwa is a vigilant awareness of Allah's presence and a deep commitment to living in accordance with His guidance. It is the inner compass that helps us stay true to our principles, to avoid uncertain things, to favor safety from Allah's displeasure, to fear displeasing Him, and to recognize the harm that may come from His displeasure. To have taqwa is to constantly remember our moral and ethical values. When we are God-conscious, we are acutely aware of our actions and decisions, ensuring they align with Islam and its principles. This awareness helps us resist the pressure to compromise our beliefs when faced with criticism or societal norms that contradict them. Think of someone you love very much. Now think about doing something that might displease them, and them finding out and being so upset with you. Isn't that enough to stop you? So why isn't it enough to stop you from displeasing Allah? Consider the Prophet Muhammad, SAW. His taqwa kept him steadfast in his mission, even when he was met with temptation. He was offered everything by the Quraysh, leadership, wealth, women, and land. But he did not relent in his mission to spread the Deen of Allah. His goal was not in this life because he had taqwa of Allah. He knew that the final answer was to Allah alone. Principle 6. The pursuit of excellence, ihsan. Excellence isn't just about doing things well. It's about doing things with a level of excellence that reflects the best of our abilities. In a religious sense, it's the highest level of faith one can achieve. Though many believers may not yet fully grasp the faith at this level, when someone turns away from sins and starts to live life with true faith, they have reached Iman. When someone lives in a continual state of awareness, knowing that Allah sees everything they do, and strives to live in the best way possible because they believe they will be held accountable on the last day, this is the level of ihsan. It means doing hidden good deeds that only Allah knows about and behaving even better in private than in the presence of others. Ihsan is a commitment to excellence in every aspect of life, and its significance cannot be overstated. One example is the Prophet, SAW, and his approach to work as a merchant before receiving prophethood. He was known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy one, renowned for his honesty and excellence in trade. His commitment to fairness set a shining example for others. Another instance of ihsan is found in the way the Prophet, Samashal, treated people. He was known for his exceptional kindness and generosity, always going above and beyond in his interactions. His commitment to treating others with excellence, regardless of their social status, left a huge impact on his companions. It was said that every person thought they were his favorite because of the way he interacted with them. Even in the simplest of tasks, the Prophet As-Sadiya emphasized this value. He encouraged his followers to excel in personal hygiene, demonstrating that even seemingly mundane aspects of life should be approached with discipline, attention to detail, and excellence. Principle 7. Sincerity, ikhlas. Sincerity is about purifying our intentions, ensuring that our actions are solely for the sake of Allah, rather than seeking praise or approval from others. It's a crucial element in our quest to remain unaffected by external opinions. When the Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina, he immediately set out to build the Quba Mosque. He personally participated in its construction, carrying bricks and working tirelessly. His companions offered to take his place and help, but he insisted on contributing himself, demonstrating his sincere dedication to worshiping Allah rather than seeking praise, recognition, or worldly comfort. This concept of ikhlas extends to all aspects of life. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged his followers to maintain pure intentions in their daily activities, whether it was offering prayers, giving charity, or helping a neighbor. He emphasized that true sincerity lies in doing things solely to seek Allah's pleasure and reward, not for the admiration of others. In fact, doing deeds for the sake of others' watchful eyes is not just wrong, it is a form of shirk, known as the hidden shirk, or riya, showing off. May Allah protect us all from it. With that said, whether you're a Muslim or not, I hope this discussion provided some value to you. Until next time, stay radiant and steadfast.